Imagine waking up and realizing this life isn't yours. Every step you've taken, every sacrifice you've made, every mask you've worn, all of it just to fit a mold that was never meant for you. You've bent, twisted, and reshaped yourself to meet expectations that were never your own. But beneath it all, there was always a voice, a quiet whisper, buried under obligations, the need for approval, and the paralyzing fear of letting others down. Then, in a single moment, everything shifts. It's as if the fog lifts, and for the first time, you see the raw, unfiltered truth. You've spent your entire life prioritizing others while losing yourself. Carl Jung once said that the greatest journey we can take is the one within ourselves. But choosing yourself? That takes courage. It means facing your fears, breaking free from the cycle of people-pleasing, and daring to say no to everything that doesn't reflect your true essence. And yet, it is at this very moment, when you finally choose yourself, that your real transformation begins. Today, I want to take you on that journey. I want to show you what happens when you finally put yourself first. It won't be easy, but one thing is certain, nothing will ever be the same again. Before we begin, make sure you subscribe to our channel so you don't miss powerful content on personal and spiritual growth. Every video is designed to challenge, inspire, and transform the way you see life. And now, let's begin. There comes a moment, unexpected, undeniable, when something inside you breaks. You stare into the mirror and see the truth staring back at you. For years, you've lived for others. You said yes when your soul screamed no. You buried your own desires to meet expectations that were never meant for you. You chased approval instead of authenticity. You shrunk yourself to fit in until you almost disappeared. And then it happens. An internal rupture, an emptiness so deep it can no longer be ignored. It is your true self, awakening at last, demanding to be heard. And in that moment, a single, powerful question echoes in your mind. What if, for once, I chose me? And just like that, your transformation begins. Carl Jung left us a message that shakes the very core of our existence. Fulfillment doesn't come from the outside. It comes from discovering who you truly are. But this journey, it's not just difficult, it's a battle. Because choosing yourself isn't just a personal decision, it's a revolution. And like any revolution, it has consequences. The moment you decide to put yourself first, the world reacts. Some will watch you with suspicion. Others will feel threatened by your newfound strength. They will criticize you, whisper that you've changed, call you selfish. But here's the truth. You haven't changed. You've simply reclaimed who you were always meant to be. The real problem? People got comfortable with the version of you that was easy to control. The one who always said yes. The one who sacrificed, bent, and folded just to make others happy. Now, as you set boundaries, as you stop seeking approval, their reality shatters. Not because you're doing anything wrong, but because your transformation forces them to confront their own reflection. And not everyone is ready for that. Jung understood this well. When you choose to live authentically, not everyone will walk beside you. Some will fall away. But those who remain, they will be the ones who see you, not as a role to be played, but as the person you were always meant to be. For years, you chased validation. You shaped yourself into what others wanted, believing that only through their acceptance would you find love, respect, and purpose. But the reality is starkly different. Your strength was never in their hands. It was always within you. And when you finally choose yourself, something extraordinary happens. You stop explaining, you stop apologizing, you no longer fear judgment, you no longer bend under the weight of expectations. You begin to say no without guilt. You stop chasing approval and discover that the greatest freedom of all is living in alignment with your truth. Jung called it individuation, the process of becoming your most authentic self. Not the version shaped by society, not the one molded by family expectations, but the one that echoes the voice of your soul. And once you step into that truth, Nothing will ever control you again. The greatest consequence of choosing yourself? Liberation. A weight lifts, the chains break, and for the first time you feel lighter, stronger, fully aligned with who you were always meant to be, because now you are finally walking in the right direction. Every decision you made before this moment was shaped by fear, fear of rejection, fear of disappointing others, the desperate need to fit in, to be accepted. But when you finally choose yourself, the past loses its grip on you. You stop explaining, you stop apologizing, you stop searching for validation in places that were never meant to define you. Because you finally understand a fundamental truth, you are enough. Carl Jung knew this journey required courage, and courage begins the moment you stop looking outward for answers and start finding them within yourself. Have you ever noticed? The moment you make a decision that is truly, undeniably yours, everything begins to shift. New people enter your life. Opportunities appear where before there were only dead ends. Everything aligns with an almost eerie precision. Jung called it synchronicity, the invisible force that responds when you finally start living in tune with your true nature. The wrong people disappear. The right situations emerge. The universe doesn't just listen, it rearranges itself to meet you where you are. But don't mistake this alignment for an easy path. Because as the old world crumbles, it will fight to pull you back. Doubt will whisper. Old fears will resurface. People who once relied on your compliance will resist your transformation. They will test you, and in these moments, you will have a choice. Fall back into the familiar, or trust the pull of something greater. Because when life begins to flow effortlessly, when doors open without force, when the right people show up at the exact moment you need them, it's not a coincidence, it's a sign that you are finally walking in perfect alignment with your truest, most powerful self. One of the hardest parts of choosing yourself? At first, it feels like you're standing alone. But loneliness is not a punishment, it's an opening, a rare, unfiltered moment where you finally meet yourself. At first, the silence is unsettling. The absence of distractions, the space once filled by people who drained you, by habits that numbed you, it can feel like a void. And in that void, the temptation creeps in, to go back, to fill the silence with the familiar, to retreat into the comfort of old patterns and people who no longer align with you. But if you resist, if you embrace this solitude instead of fearing it, something shifts. The emptiness you once feared, it transforms into space. Space to breathe, space to heal, space to build the life you were always meant to live. And then something incredible happens. You start to love your own company. You stop tolerating toxicity. You refuse to settle for less than you deserve because you finally understand something fundamental. You are enough. Always. And in that moment, the real transformation begins. You rediscover yourself. Buried passions reawaken. Dreams you once dismissed as impossible start to feel within reach. And the fear of being alone, it vanishes. Because you no longer seek someone to complete you. You realize you were never incomplete to begin with. Carl Jung left us with a truth so powerful it shakes the soul. Who looks outside, dreams. Who looks inside, awakens. The life you want? It won't come from the opinions of others. It won't be shaped by fear of disappointing someone. It won't be built on the need for approval. It will be born from a single, life-altering decision, the decision to choose yourself. If these words resonate within you, know this. This is only the beginning. The road ahead is long. But it is yours. No one else can walk it for you. Now tell me, are you ready to make the choice that will change everything? If this message spoke to you, share it with someone who needs it. Because the world is desperate for more people with the courage to be fully, unapologetically themselves. Choosing yourself is an act of quiet rebellion. It means breaking free from the invisible chains of expectation, stepping away from the need for approval, and finally living in alignment with who you truly are. It's not an easy path. At times it will feel lonely. At times it will test everything you thought you knew. But what awaits on the other side? A life that is yours, fully, unapologetically yours. Fear of change is natural. There will always be a part of you that clings to the familiar, that whispers, "Stay where it's safe." The comfort of habit will always feel easier than the uncertainty of transformation. But ask yourself this: what's more painful, stepping into the unknown, or spending your life trapped in a reality that never truly felt like yours? Carl Jung understood this truth. Every great transformation begins the moment you stop running from yourself. When you gather the courage to look within, to listen to the voice you've silenced for too long, to embrace your shadows, not as weaknesses, but as sources of power. There is no perfect time to begin this journey. The perfect time is now. You don't need to have all the answers. You don't need a flawless roadmap. You just need the courage to take one step, a step toward yourself, a step toward freedom, a step toward the life you were meant to live. If today you feel stuck, lost, or uncertain, remember this: every transformation, every revolution, every new beginning starts with a single decision to stop settling and start living. Now, I want to hear from you. What does choosing yourself mean to you? Leave a comment below. Your story might be the one that inspires someone else to take their first step. Because life doesn't begin when everything is perfect. Life begins the moment you finally decide to be yourself. If this message resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more powerful content on wisdom, self-discovery, and transformation. Thank you for being part of this journey. See you in the next video.